Hi everyone. Today, I wanted to count down my top 10 best tips to type faster. But before I get into that, I just want to give a quick thank you to the sponsor of this video, Adventure Ages. I can't believe that I finally get to say that. So today, I just wanted to give some quick tips as to how you can increase your typing speed. I've thrown in some stuff for people at all levels, so make sure you watch until the end if you're interested. But without any further rambling, let me get right into it. For my first tip, I've got a bit of a beginner one, and that's learn to touch type, or type without looking at the keyboard. You don't need to use the strict home row style, but I would recommend using at least 6 or 7 fingers if you're just getting started. This allows you to eliminate consecutive finger usage, which slows you down. I personally learned with typing.com, but I've heard that KeyBR is also a good option. Additionally, if you're looking for a tutorial, make sure you subscribe because I'm planning on making a Learn to Type from Scratch series soon. Make sure you don't rush through this process because this is the easiest time to master the fundamentals, and you don't want to get to 130 words per minute and realize that your style is holding you back. For my next tip, I've got another really important one, and that's type accurately. You can only get away with hitting keys as fast as you can up to a certain point, and it's best to work on this skill from the beginning. If you notice your accuracy is low, slow down. It might not be fun, but your future self will thank you. When you do make mistakes, a lot of the time it's faster to delete the whole word by pressing Ctrl backspace, so make sure you know when to delete the whole word and when to just delete a couple letters normally. I personally shoot to have 99% accuracy on TypeRacer, but you should set your own goal and just try to gradually improve it. For this next tip, I've got a very important question for you. Have you ever wanted to repair the timeline of history and become the greatest time-traveling agent of all time? You probably haven't thought about this question too much, but I sure hope that your answer is yes, because if so, I've got the perfect game for you. In Adventure Ages, this is exactly what you do. You start in the Bronze Age trying to gather up as many weapons as you can, and how do you do that? You buy gladiators, who produce weapons. But then, you want more gladiators to produce more weapons, so what do? You buy chariots to automatically create gladiators, and that's just the beginning. This chain goes up and up, and there are also other chains set in the medieval ages, Renaissance, industrial, atomic age, and more. Part of the beauty of this game is it's incredibly intricate while also being simple to understand. But if you want to optimize your play, you'll need to do a lot of thinking, which I know I sure have. I have no choice but to admit I'm a little bit of a nerd, and the math and history behind this game gets me excited. This is also the perfect game for online school. I've been upgrading my stuff in Adventure Ages between classes, and then I let my resources build up during class. So make sure you download Adventure Ages today from the link in the description. It's completely free to play. And additionally, if you check out the Adventure Ages Instagram page, you can enter a competition to win 1,000 gems. I know I'll be entering, and that's not a joke. I'm genuinely hooked on this game, and I'm sure I'm going to continue playing for a while. Now that that's done, I've got another thrilling typing tip, and that's to practice common combos. And by that I mean like the most frequent letter pairs. Some of the most common 3-letter ones are AND, ING, ION, and EST, but you should really just try and notice which ones you struggle with, or which ones you see a lot, and just try and improve them so that way you can just type them with your muscle memory. So like when I was learning to type with one hand, I knew that when I saw a word that ended in EST, or had AND in it, I knew that I'd be able to type that really fast and consistently because I'd practiced it over and over again. This next tip is by far the most important one on this list, and that's practice and also have fun with it. I had to put it in number 4 instead of number 10 because I hate when I'm watching a tips video and it gets to number 1 and they go, "Practice and have fun." Shut up, I know I need to practice. However, this is just really important because if you don't practice, you won't improve. And along the same lines, if you're not having fun, you won't practice. And plus, what's the point of doing this if you're not having fun? Because once you get to a certain point, this is more for the competition of it rather than just learning typing as a life skill. Along the same lines, I'd like to make some suggestions as to where to practice for my next tip. There are 3 main websites right now. The first one, and most popular, is NitroType. This one's fun and flashy, but you just need to be careful because a lot of people fall into a trap of just racing over and over again without trying to improve. The next one is TypeRacer. This one arguably has the most active competitive community, and you get matched up against a bunch of other people every time, which I personally think is a lot of fun. In TypeRacer, you need to transcribe texts exactly, so it's the most realistic to actual useful typing. The third one is MonkeyType. I'm really excited for this one because it's been improving rapidly. There's no multiplayer yet, which is the main thing that holds it back, but it does have a lot of functionality, and I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes in the future. On to number 6. When you're typing, make sure you slow down for hard words and speed up for easy words. If you don't need to slow down for a word, even if it's hard, that's great, but the main thing is you don't want to make a typo. And along the same line, if you can speed up for an easy word, then it's definitely worth doing that to gain an advantage as long as you know you won't make a typo. So while it's a good practice technique to type every word at the same speed, you shouldn't be doing this while you're trying to go for high speeds. My next suggestion to type faster is to focus on typing word by word instead of letter by letter. This basically allows you to process information faster. It's almost more of a mental change than a physical change, but if you can go word by word so that way you don't need to look for each individual letter, then you'll definitely speed up. It's not that you're literally typing one word at a time, but think of it kind of like a piano chord, where you just lay your hands down and a word appears. For tip number 8, I recommend spending time analyzing your mistakes. So for example, I know that what I'm really good at is typing accurately and consistently, but one thing that I mess up on frequently is capital letters. So I'll either not capitalize the first letter of a sentence, or I'll capitalize the first 2 letters instead of 1. If you know what your strengths and weaknesses are, then it gives you a big advantage because first of all, you know what to practice, but also when you look at a text before you type it, you'll know what you need to pay special attention to. Alright, we're down to my final 2 tips. And so for tip number 9, did you know that only 6.8% of my viewers are subscribed? No, I'm just kidding, I wouldn't do that. Although, you know what to do to fix that. But for my real 9th tip, it's read ahead. This is really crucial. I think a lot of people don't realize just how important it is, and it's really what leads to the majority of my mistakes. When your typing catches up to your reading, you'll either make a typo or you'll pause. And when you're trying to type at over 10 keys per second, or maybe even 16 keys per second if you're trying to hit 200 words per minute, this is not time that you can afford to lose. So make sure you're reading at least 1 or 2 words ahead at all times. It's time for what you've all been waiting for. My number 1 tip to type faster. I think that the most important part of typing fast is just knowing how you type your fastest. I know this makes no sense, but let me elaborate. As a general rule, as your speed goes up, your accuracy goes down. The opposite is true too. As your accuracy goes up, your speed goes down. So what you need to do is find that point in the middle where your accuracy is high, but your speed is also good. It's good to practice both that top speed and that high accuracy, but when you're competing or trying to type your best, you need to find that happy medium. So do some experimenting and find out what works for you. Alright guys, that's pretty much all I have to say today. I really hope that this video helped you out, and make sure to like and subscribe if it did. Thank you very much for watching.